So guys, we are once again back on my brother's 2011 Outback 2.5i Limited, and hopefully this is the last video in this series dealing with this issue. Just got back from the Subaru dealership, picked up a brand new Subaru genuine radiator. For those of you interested, part number is 45111AJ10A, and surprisingly enough, it's made in the USA. So let's go ahead and get to this repair. So since this is an older Outback CVT, we will have the CVT fluid cooler in the bottom of the radiator to deal with. So we'll have the two CVT cooler lines down there, upper radiator hose, lower radiator hose. First off, we need to get this trim piece out of the way so we can get the two 12mm headed bolts that hold the upper radiator mount into place. And we'll go ahead and pull the push pins for that. Up here along the top of the grill. I really need to remember to pick up a pack of these push pins next time I'm Subaru. There's always broken ones, missing ones on every one of them I work on. And it looks like my brother's got two missing ones. So just pull back on the grill slightly and pop this piece out. Just like so. Set that off to the side. And we'll leave these two bolts in place for right now. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this back off. And kind of tuck it out of the way. We're not too concerned about deforming it because we got a brand new hose. Just getting it out of the way for now so we can reach down there and pop our lower hose off and get the cooling system draining in our catch pan under the vehicle. But first, I believe we'll go ahead and get the reservoir out of the way. A little plastic push pin that pops right out, pulls out, set that aside. Reach down on either side, disconnect the electrical connector for our cooling fans. Pull the two 10mm headed bolts on either cooling fan. Now, being as I don't know what actually happened to the barb on this radiator, whether it broke down over time and went in the cooling system, or whether it was ejected when the hose blew off, I am going to go underneath and pull the thermostat housing, pull the thermostat out, and make sure there are no chunks of radiator upper neck behind that thermostat. Got to reach down here and pull our CVT cooler lines out of the bracket on this cooling fan before we pull it out. Set those cooling fans to the side. Not to be too careful as our radiator is already junk. So once that's out of the way, we can get to our CVT cooler lines and we can get to our lower rad hose. A little easier to get it from underneath, but just don't feel like laying down in the dirt today. We'll try to attack this all from the top. prop that hose under the exhaust manifold, let that drain out. Go ahead and get our top hose off as we are replacing that completely. Well, there's part of our radiator upper barb right there. Looks like we didn't get much further than the coolant crossover pipe. So that's 50% of it there. I'm gonna reach in and see if I can get the rest. If I find all of it, then we're not gonna bother going in there to the thermostat housing. Looks like another big chunk right here. So that's 3/4 of it. That's 90% of it. I'm gonna get my borescope and run in this coolant crossover pipe and see if we can find the last 10% or so, but we've got the majority of the barb right here. So guys, I went ahead and pulled the thermostat housing and the thermostat. I think the last little chunk of the barb came out in that. I have to look back through the pan once we got that. Put the thermostat back on with a new gasket, torque the bolts back down the spec. We got to take our CVT cooler lines loose now, and then we can pull this radiator out and transfer our lower hose on to the new radiator. We're just going to take these pinch off pliers and pinch off our cooler lines so they do not leak our CVT fluid out when we take them off of these barbs here. Got those pinched off. I gotta try to finagle these pliers in here. Really need to get a set of these that have the angle on the end. Go ahead and twist those around. And wriggle our hose off. We'll lose a little bit of CVT fluid, but to be expected. Just the amount that's caught in that cooler. And there we go. Those routed behind that upper radiator hose. take our two 12mm headed bolts out up top for the radiator mount. And just like that, our radiator is free. Go ahead and drop the new radiator in here. For whatever unfortunate money-saving reason, they do not include the foam on the new radiator, so just peeled it off the old one and stuck it back on there. Just let gravity hold it in place. Pop our top brackets back on there. We'll go ahead and snake those CVT cooler lines back over the top of the little radiator hose. And tuck them into place, and their mounts on the radiator. Go ahead and slide them back on the barbs. Put their little rad hose on there. I got a fun job of working those clamps back around. Go ahead and pop our cooling fans back into place. plug in that cooling fan pigtail. Make sure not to forget those. You'll be scratching your head as to why your fans have not cycled on and the vehicle's overheating. Don't forget to pop your CVT cooler lines into the bracket there on this cooling fan over here. Don't forget to plug in your harness. Just like so. Now all that's really left is to pop that upper radiator hose on. And as we stated earlier, we have a new one to install. And it's quite stiff. And all the way on there. Pop on the clamp, upper and lower. All right, guys, now we can pop our coolant reservoir back into place. Good idea to go ahead and wash it out, flush it out. It just clicks into place. Pop the hose back on there. And yeah, aside from putting the snorkel and this upper cover back on over top of the radiator here, just like so, we are ready to start refilling our cooling system. All right, guys, time to refill the cooling system. And away we go. And that there ought to have us. So everything's back together, cooling system's refilled. I went ahead and put the spill-free funnel on there just because I couldn't fit all of the coolant conditioner in there, screwed up, and should have cut it off a little bit quick on the vacuum refiller. So we're just gonna run it till it opens the thermostat, burps. Hopefully it should pull the rest of that in. And we're just gonna make sure we don't have a excessive amount of bubbling in here. I know we're gonna have a little bit, I'm sure. And you know, that's basically it. This old radiator was really stopped up. It really needed to be replaced anyway, just because of how much damage to the fins down here and the amount of junk stuck in it. So we'll just run it until we reach operational temperature and thermostat opens, and we'll be back to see what the damage is. So we're up to operational temperature, and we got quite a bit of bubbles in the radiator here. So definitely head gasket, but I just don't have the time to get to it right now. So gonna let it run a little while, let the cooling system conditioner work its way through, and hopefully this will lessen. Maybe it won't. We'll just see and go from there. So the bubbles have severely lessened. Looks like our good old Holtz Radweld / Subaru cooling system conditioner has worked its magic. And hopefully it'll give us a few months more to get enough time where we can go through and do the proper repair of replacing the head gaskets and resealing the engine. So guys, there you go. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video series, and I will see you all in the next one.